Why? 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 You guys all went through this when you were a little kid. Those of you who have ever been around a 3-year-old, you get tired of the question why. Those little 3-year-olds are really on to something. In fact, big businesses now today, the most successful businesses in our country, they all keep asking why. In fact, their meetings sound like a room full of 3-year-olds. Today we're going to talk about asking why at least 3 times. As I mentioned before, big companies utilize this concept often, but they don't just ask why 3 times. They ask why 5 times. The problem with not asking why is that we're just accepting things at face value. And we're not going deep and we're not figuring out what is the root cause of a problem and therefore being able to come up with a really solid solution to the problem. Well, this applies to literature as well. We need to constantly ask ourselves, well, why did the author have the character do this? Why is this important? Why? So before we get started, I want to take a minute to just kind of illustrate for you, yet again, the importance of this idea of asking why.
Papa, can we play outside?
No,
Why?
because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's too early.
Why?
The sun hasn't come up yet.
Why?
Because the sun comes up later.
Why?
Well, the earth goes around, and when it turns a certain amount, the sun shows on the horizon.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Why don't you know, Papa?
Because I didn't pay attention in school, okay? I didn't listen in class.
Why?
Because I was high all the time. I smoked too much pot.
Why?
I didn't think it would matter.
Why?
I just figured my life would come together on its own. Then I met your mom. You came along. So now I work at the muffler shop.
Why?
Well, it's too late for me to pursue a career now. Since your mom has a job with benefits, I stay home and I take care of you. Because what I make is pretty much just a joke.
Why?
Well, the service economy replaced manufacturing. There's no real jobs in America anymore.
Why?
We've had good jobs for a while, but it's just because we were lucky and now we're unlucky.
Why?
It's just the way it goes.
Why?
Because God is dead and we're alone.
Okay.
So in that video, obviously both the little girl and the father now have a little bit of a better understanding as to why life is the way it is in their household. And of course, at the end, he just kind of gives up and says, well, it's because God's dead. And the little girl accepts that because, well, what's bigger than God? If God's dead, then I guess that is just the way things are. All right, now let's make this a little more pertinent to what we're doing in class. All right, so what I want to do is I want to just take this quote, "The only good is knowledge, and the only evil ignorance." We need to ask ourselves, why? Why is this quote that says that the only good in life is knowledge and the only evil is ignorance, why is that true? So to begin with, I'm going to say, well, because when we are knowledgeable about the people, places, things, ideas, and events that surround us, we're able to make wiser, more educated decisions. However, when we're ignorant to what surrounds us, it opens the door for us to be taken advantage of, thus falling prey to the will of others. So really, knowledge is important for us in order to make good decisions in life. And when we don't have knowledge, we make bad decisions. Well, why? Well, because wiser decisions are able to be made because the pros and cons of the situation can be weighed, protecting ourselves from the evil that may arise. Okay, I mean, I can apply this to anything in life. I can apply it to buying a car. I can apply it to what neighborhood to live in. I can apply it to, should I go out with these friends tonight or not? Okay, if I know the situation, if I know who's all going to be there, where they're going, when they're going, how they're getting there, now I can make a more educated decision as to whether or not it's in my best interest to go with my group of friends this evening or not. But if I just blindly say, yeah, okay, I'll go over to Sarah's house tonight, having no idea what's going to happen, I might find out that at Sarah's house there's a raging kegger and the police are going to show up, and now I'm going to get busted for being in an area where there was alcohol being served to minors, even though I may or may not have been drinking. So you don't want to have ignorant decisions. Instead, you always want to make knowledgeable decisions. So like I say on here, on the other hand, it's easier for others to persuade us to follow their direction when you can't judge the situation for yourself due to the lack of knowledge, because they only have to present the good and they don't have to present the opposite side. So it's really important in order to make decisions for yourself to be knowledgeable, because if you're not knowledgeable, you're going to find yourself following blindly the way of others. All right, let's ask why again. Why is it that I'm going to make blind decisions? Why is it that it's easier for them to persuade me? Why is it better for me to be knowledgeable? Well, because when we're knowledgeable, we're protected from the evil because we're able to predict possible pitfalls or obstacles, making it so we can be better prepared. This is exactly what our military personnel have to do. They are as knowledgeable as possible about the environment in which they're going into, about the people in that environment, about the possible weapons they may have, so that way they can best protect themselves. However, when you blindly follow the direction of others, you're not being true to yourself, which puts your character in danger of being manipulated into something you don't want to be. You know, if you're at that party at Sarah's house, well, you went to the party because you're friends with Sarah and you didn't even know there was going to be a party. You just showed up. But now your character is in danger of being ruined because you were at this party where there was alcohol, and that's just not you. It's the same thing as following people blindly, into drinking. Or maybe you start texting while driving because, well, all your friends are texting while driving. It goes with that whole philosophy of, well, it hasn't killed me yet. Well, but it might. So this is why we need to ask why multiple times. The problem is that why is a difficult question to answer. And also, it takes time to answer the question, and we don't like taking time. We just want quick, easy answers. Unfortunately, that's not what life is based on, and if you want to be successful in life, you need to stop. You need to answer the hard questions, and that is going to take time. So let's go ahead and apply this to literature, okay? You don't want to take anything at face value or just because. Okay, funny story. My family and I, we drove down to Texas this summer, and we were driving at night. We were in Arkansas, and the next thing I know, I was like, oh, wow, it's starting to rain. I didn't realize it was going to rain. It was just like a little sprinkling, and then it got heavier. It was splat, 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 splat. And then my husband and I realized it wasn't raining. The noise of what seemed as if it was raining were bugs hitting our windshield. It was the most disgusting thing ever. I mean, literally, we got down to Texas, the whole front of our car was covered in bugs. But it wasn't until that time, when the bugs were literally hitting the windshield, making that splatting noise, that I realized I've always just accepted the fact that bugs make a splat noise when they hit a window. I never actually experienced it myself. I never stopped to say, well, why do they make a splat noise? Okay, in fact, you just hear bug goes splat. And you're like, oh, okay, bugs go splat. But you don't ask yourself, well, what are they going to splat against? And why? Well, this made me realize that I can't just accept things because people have always told me that's the way it is. It's the same thing as when you ask, why do I have to clean my room? Or why can't I go to so-and-so's house? Or why can't I stay out till 2 in the morning? And your parents say, because I said so. It's not a satisfying answer. You don't like that answer because you are not wanting to accept it at face value. You're not just going to say, oh, okay, I need to have a clean room. Why do I need to have a clean room? You're looking for your parents to say, because I pay for this house and I expect the house to be taken care of. And so if you're going to live in this house, you are going to respect the room in which you live. Okay, you may or may not agree with that answer, but at least now you have an understanding of your parents' motive for making you clean your room. So let's put this into the literature. We don't want to just accept things at face value. We don't want to just accept the fact of like, oh, Montauk burns houses down for a living. Well, of course we want to know, why are they burning down houses? Well, because they're getting rid of the books. Well, why are they getting rid of books? Why are books bad? Then we get into that question of Beatty. Why is he so knowledgeable in books? Why is he trying to persuade others not to read, yet he's quoting books and he's using books in order to form an argument? So we really need to look deeper. So why did the character do that? Why is the story taking place at night? Why is the description so long and wordy? Sometimes, especially when we get to Lord of the Flies and Tale of Two Cities, you're going to be like, okay, I get it. We're in a forest. Okay, I get it. It's dark outside. But why is the author doing that? Why is the author repeating the same word over and over and over again? Some of you said that you didn't like Fahrenheit because of the repetition of word choice. But now you need to ask yourself, why is it that Ray Bradbury chose to do that? Is it because he's a bad writer? Is it because he wanted to make the book longer? Or is there a deeper meaning behind it? So we're going to be applying this throughout the entire year, and this is a skill that you can apply in all of your subjects, and I hope that you do, because I hope more than anything that you will all be successful in life.